Stand by. Let's see. Back in about 90 seconds. Oh, man, I tell you. Okay. I've got so much going on here. I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Okay, we got about 30 seconds. Boy, oh boy. I need help. I've got too much going on. There's too much going on at once. I can hardly keep track of it. All right, here we go. All right, and we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the line, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot is joining us. Hey, Ian.
Hey, happy Friday, man.
Oh, man, you know, I know these chilly mornings we've had this week. I've been thinking about our 10th annual MAGA cruise in March is right around the corner. There'll be no chills on that trip. No,
absolutely not. Sitting on the at the Sunset Bar with a nice drink.
Exactly. You know, I took my suits to the dry cleaner the other day, and I checked my pockets. And I had the schedule from our last cruise in one of the pockets, which means I haven't cleaned the suits since the cruise. I really only need some of the suits during the cruise. And I was looking at some of the things we do on our cruises, and I have the schedule for the Monday of our cruise last year, or I guess it was the beginning of this year. And some of the things, we have so much fun. Our MAGA Rita party with the group.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. You guys get that MAGA Rita? We do that. We have so much fun. The silent disco.
Silent disco's awesome.
Yeah. The private party with the captain. We do that. Going to the Broadway shows together. I mean, there's so much stuff we do. I'm going to keep this schedule. I'm going to go through it more on the air next week with people, just to give you an idea. But Ian's here today because we've got a couple of deadlines, okay? Now, we've been talking about our 2019 group pricing we have. That's going to expire when the Black Friday specials are advertised by the cruise line. Has that happened yet, Ian?
It hasn't happened yet. I still have a few, group cabins available. I am going to have to release them because final payments due, and they're like, well, time to go bye-bye.
Yeah, so when those Black Friday specials come in, we lose our 2019 group pricing. So if you've not made a reservation yet, I'm going to give Ian's number in a moment. Make your reservation now so you can lock in that 2019 pricing. And those of you that have already made reservations, final payments due. You want to call Ian for that as well. Ian, have you firmed up our finalized and firmed up any of our shore excursions yet?
Well, now I'm in the negotiation phase to get the best pricing I can for our guests. But in Tortola, we're going to do the catamaran and some spectacular dive spots.
Now that's
really
the Virgin,
high end.
That's the Virgin Islands. Is that the U.S. or British Virgin Islands? I always forget.
That's the British Virgin Islands, and I'm currently negotiating with a 5-star resort in Dominican Republic, so we can spend the day on the beach with food and drinks included and just have a really, really relaxing day.
Yeah, and we can't announce the one in Puerto Rico yet, but I know what it is. And this is going to be just a spectacular shore excursion. I can't wait to tell people.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So listen, guys, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Again, those of you that already made reservations, Final payment is due. So call Ian right now and take care of that. And also, if you've not made a reservation yet, call Ian right now as well, because as soon as those Black Friday prices get dropped by and advertised by the cruise line, we lose our 2019 pricing. And that could happen any minute. So here's
and then we're at the mercy of general inventory.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you join the cruise with our 2019 pricing, you're going to be going for less than anyone else on the ship. Here's Ian's number. Again, if you get his voicemail, leave your name and number. He will call you back, okay, because, he might be on the phone with somebody else. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
Have a great weekend.
All right, we are back. Of course, it is the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian. Craig, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I promise you there were 12
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Verify.
You're on the air.
And why would they say there's only...
Okay, boom. Second dump of the day. And we haven't had one for over an hour. Wow. That one was a little out of the blue there. That person has been on hold for about an hour. They held on for that? All right, if you're on hold, stand by as we await for the delay to re-engage. So Mark Kelly went on CNN yesterday. No, that's an example of a joke that he was making, and no order was given to do that. Okay. Wow. Trump staying. Okay. So I opened the show with this at the top of the hour at 6. I'm going to go through this, okay, with you guys again. And if you're on hold, stand by. I got to wait for the delay to re-engage, which is fine because it gives me an opportunity to get some of these things out that have to be shared. President Trump has been going through a nonstop coup for a decade. That's it, right? A decade. This is not the first presidential coup. It is the first coup that the president has weathered, okay? There's a new operation in the ongoing Trump coup. And there was an article yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was Breitbart, and I've seen follow-up elsewhere today, that the Bush family are making plans to make a move and retake the Republican Party control during the next presidential election, which means they're either going to try to beat us, our MAGA candidate, the president, or JD if the president runs again, in the primary, or plug in with JD a Bush vice president. This new operation bring the Bush family back to power, I'm not sure what else to call it, bring back Bush, began with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That has caused a massive disruption and has been a massive blow to our movement. We've lost our college organization plans. There still are turning point events, but they're not the same. There's a lot of disarray. All of these MAGA media people, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, all the rest, there's all kinds of chaos going on. That's part of the same operation. The issue that broke last week, I think it was a week ago today, with Marjorie Trader Greene is part of this latest coup operation. This video is another part of it. So we've got some military people and two intelligence people. We've got a retired CIA person as one of the congressmen, the senator. The other, the congresswoman from New Hampshire, is former naval intelligence. And then we found out, Richie tipped me off, that she's the wife of Biden's national security advisor. This disruption of the chain of command in the military is what the deep state does in other countries to force coups. And there's a lot of indictments coming down, right? We already got Comey. Brennan is any day. We got Bolton, right? And there's other grand juries out there. They know these indictments are coming. This video was a panic move on their part. And I got to tell you, Mark Kelly on this Caitlin Collins interview, the clip I just played from CNN, he looks terrified to me. He really, truly does. He does not look comfortable. They jumped the shark with this video, and they know they did what they did. And I did a little research. I found out, now I don't know the retirement status of the others other than Kelly. Senator Kelly is a retired U.S. naval captain. I know this because he says it every time he opens his mouth up on TV, okay? If you are retired military and receiving a pension, you are still under the universal or the Code of Military Conduct, okay? So he could be recalled, investigated, and charged, and even court-martialed or reprimanded and lose his rank, even in retirement. The Uniform Code of Military Justice still applies to Kelly. The other couple that were in the military, I don't know if they're retired and receiving a pension, but what I read yesterday is that if you're receiving a pension, you are still under the Uniform Code of Military Conduct, which would definitely be the astronaut here, Mark Kelly. And maybe he's aware of this. The CIA lady, probably not. And President Trump called him out on this yesterday. And that's what's got them freaked out. All right, we're approaching our top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. We'll get back to our calls. The delay is re-engaged. We'll get back to our calls and more after the top. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, back after this. You there? Hey there, what's up? All right, we got 2 minutes. Let me put you on hold for a minute. What's that? Yeah. Hold on, okay? Hold on. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. I'll be right back.
Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
All right, we will be back shortly. Less than 2 minutes, okay? I got Steve on the line, and I got to get organized here. All right. Okay. All right, Steve, you there? Steve? Oh, how could I have lost him already? Hold on, I'll call him back. Okay, you there? Okay, okay.
Hello?
All right, Steve, stand by. We got 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. Oh, my goodness.
I would say.
All right. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Steve Kane joining us. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing fine. It sounds like wildness is going on.
There is, and I know you've been under the weather lately, so I'm glad you're here. Well, which did you have a particular one you wanted to get into? Because I
want you to take the lead here.
Okay.
Fill me in on what I don't know.
Okay. Well, I want to go.
Mark Kelly.
Oh, well, I'm going to go through this. This is big stuff because I did some research and everything. But I want to, for those that are just tuning in, I gave a capsulized version at the end of the last hour, and I went through a very long version of this at the top of the show at 6. But I'm going to give you a medium-sized breakdown of what's going on right now, okay?
All right.
And then if you're on hold, hang in there. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones, but this is one of the biggest stories of our time. We all agree President Trump's been going through a nonstop coup for 10 years, right? It's just what's happened. There was an article yesterday in Breitbart, somebody leaked this out, that the Bush family are making a move to retake control of the Republican Party during the presidential election next time in 2028. So they plan on either getting a primary candidate in that wins the nomination, or if Trump does not run and JD runs, because I'm supporting Trump in 2028. I know you are too. But if JD runs, I'm just telling you what the Bush plan is to at least, if they can't beat JD or Trump, to get JD to pick a Bush person as his running mate. Okay, that's their plan. And what we're dealing with right now, this video of the senators and the Congress people that came out.
Yes.
This in this 10-year-long coup. This is a PSYOP operation put together by the deep state. The Operation Bring Back Bush is what I'm calling it. I don't have a better name for it right now, but it's Operation Bring Back Bush. And this operation began when they assassinated Charlie Kirk, okay? Deep state assassinated Charlie Kirk, I believe. And it's thrown the entire conservative media in disarray. There's all kinds of confusion going on now, and it's been a big blow to our operation. This video, and there have been some other parts of it, right? The same operation, right? Operation Bring Back Bush started with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Part of the confusion was created by Tucker Carlson and the stupidity he's been up to with Nick Fuentes and others. This story last week with Marjorie Trader Greene betraying Trump, that's part of Operation Bring Back Bush. Okay? Now President Trump has been stopping them, and the Epstein files was a big blow to Operation Bring Back Bush because they were going to be using that next year. This video was a panic move on the part of this operation, okay? We have a former CIA person, a senator. The rest, as far as I know, are all ex-military, right? The other woman in the video, she's in the House. She's a former naval intelligence officer. She makes a big point in the video. Found out that her husband, he has a different last name than her, but her husband was Biden's national security advisor. So this video is a deep state operation to try to cause disruption in the military. But what I found out was this. Hold on, Steve. I got to hit these buttons. What I found out, Steve, was this. That if you are retired, and this I haven't heard it, and this is why Kelly looks. Did you see Senator Kelly on CNN, Steve?
When? Yesterday.
Yesterday, did you see him?
Yes.
He looked off. His arrogance was gone, and he looked a little nervous. And this is what I found out yesterday. If you are retired from the military and receiving a pension, this isn't someone who does like their 4 or 8 year stretch or whatever. This is someone who's been in the service long enough to be officially retired and receive a pension. If you are retired from the service and receive a pension, you are still held to the Uniform Code of Military Conduct and can be called back at any time. In fact, Ronnie Jackson, they demoted him from admiral to captain after he retired because they were pissed off at him for giving Trump a clean bill of health. And Mark Kelly, I don't know about the other ones, but Mark Kelly is receiving a pension. He could be demoted by the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He could be reactivated and put on trial for this sedition. And he's panicked right now. And you see it on his TV interviews. So things are going perfect for President Trump. And I'm very excited about it. So
has Trump made any statements yet?
Well, he posted on Truth. Haven't you seen this? The penalty for treason and sedition is death, or something he said yesterday.
Well, I heard that. I heard that yesterday.
Yeah, but there haven't been any updates since that from Trump. But that's where we stand right now, and these Congress people are freaking out. They're freaking out. And yesterday, did you see any of Dick Cheney's funeral?
Yes.
Okay. Rachel Maddow was there. Rachel Maddow was there. Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow. Yeah, she. It was hard to see her, because she blended in with all the guys in the suits and everything. But Rachel Maddow was there, and which is a very unusual thing because when Dick Cheney was vice president, she was on TV every night calling him a war criminal, a monster, Darth Vader, a murderer, a liar, and now she's honoring him. Well, with that funeral, that funeral served a double purpose. It was a funeral for this war criminal, Dick Cheney, but many of the Bring Back Bush operators were there and probably had a meeting yesterday, including Rachel Maddow. So that's why she was at the funeral yesterday.
Holy Christopher.
So it was a way for them to all meet in person and talk and have an excuse to all be together. It's probably the only time all of them could be together in the same place, right? Rachel Maddow with Obama, with all the crew. So that's that. Now you're up to speed. That's what's going on. Everything's being exposed.
It's pretty wild.
It is. I know. It's Operation Bring Back Bush, and it's going to fail. It's going to fail. I noticed something about Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. What was that?
What was that?
Well, it was the flag on his coffin. Does anyone know what that flag was? It wasn't the flag of the United States. I don't know what that.
It looked like an English. It looked like an old English flag.
Or like a Crusader or something. I don't know. But
yes.
Yeah. So does anyone know what that flag was? And then I noticed something else about that flag that I've never seen at a funeral before, where there's a flag over the coffin. It was wrinkled. It was all wrinkled. And so if anyone knows what the flag was, and is there any significance to it being wrinkled? I don't know. I just noticed it was wrinkled, very much so. But I don't know what the flag was. It was. You're right. It did look like an old English Crusader flag or something. But I don't know. All right. You want to take some calls?
Yeah.
All right. Our number is toll-free 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ryan, it's Mark from Lakeland. I called you a little while ago about the General Milley thing. I'm a lawyer, and I was in the JAG Corps, in the Army JAG Corps back in the day.
Okay.
On the Kelly thing, yeah, you're 100% right. Because he's retired, because he's receiving retirement pay, the Secretary of the Navy could recall him. And when he's recalled, they could do a court-martial, charged under Article 94, Uniform Code of Military Justice, sedition. And because it's high profile, he could say he could be confined for 7 years, be dismissed. His the equivalent for an officer of a dishonorable discharge.
Wow.
And loses retired pay.
Wow. What's the what that's amazing. So you're a former JAG lawyer, you know exactly what you're talking about. And how far could Pete Hegseth go without recalling him? Because I remember they demoted demoted Ronnie Jackson from admiral to captain because they were pissed off at him when he retired. Can he be demoted without being recalled and going through all that process by Pete Hegseth?
My understanding is you'd have to be recalled to be demoted because that would involve basically convening a board.
Okay.
The NCIS would do an initial investigation, and I don't know quite how they did it with Ronnie Jackson. Who knows? Maybe Autopin did it. And,
Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question of the caller? Is what we're talking about now being commonly discussed in the news and talk shows now this morning, or is this?
It's just me, Steve. It's just me. I'm the first one to bring this up.
Well, not that I've seen. I'm loyal to you guys, so I've only listened to you guys this morning. But
no, I'm the only one that's come up with it. No, I did my own research, but shocker, Steve, I came up with this myself. I did some research yesterday, and now we got a JAG lawyer telling me I'm right. So
he's 100% right.
And Kelly did not look well on CNN. He looks worried about this. You know, that's a very. It may not. People may say, "Oh, he's rich. He's a senator. He doesn't. Believe me, he cares. He doesn't want to be Lieutenant Commander Kelly."
You mean to say, but he didn't think about all this before he decided to get involved in this venture?
No,
Kelly, I'm talking about.
Nope.
He just did this. You'd like to believe that, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You would.
Didn't you see those two lady astronauts that are in the news right now that were a couple? A lot of these astronauts are nuts.
Well, there was the one that drove across the country because she was mad at a guy about 10 years ago. And
I remember that.
In a diaper. She wore a diaper across the country so she didn't have to stop to go to the bathroom. Remember that?
I remember it well.
Yeah, she drove from like Texas to Florida to confront her lover. Yeah, wearing a diaper. Yeah, so just because he's an astronaut, you know. And some of his astronaut stuff, it was either him or his brother were on the last shuttle flight. You know, he's so in bed with these people. He got that favor through his wife before she got shot. He's a man of low moral character. He's made a whole career on his wife getting shot. Gabby Giffords.
I think he realizes he might have stepped in it because he's smart enough to know, or at least stuff that his buddies have told him. I had a conversation with another lawyer friend of mine who's liberal yesterday, and he didn't quite understand the significance of it. You know, because when you start doing this kind of stuff, you're going to cause danger for the ranks. I mean, if you don't follow what the commander says, you're putting people in danger.
It's outrageous. I can't believe they didn't think of this before they did it.
Illegal orders are if they line up the Jews and tell you to shoot them dead, and they're civilians.
It was the first thing that jumped into my mind.
But it's
was
not.
That they were going to be in all kinds of trouble.
But what they were talking about was the National Guard refusing to follow orders to go into Chicago or something. That's what they were talking about. Everybody knows it. Come on.
They're desperate.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate your expertise. All right. Take care. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be right back. Hey, Barry, we have less than a minute, okay? Oh, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. All right, stay by. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to conference in Barry. Okay, hold on. Hold on one second. Okay, Steve, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, hold on, Steve. All right, Barry, we have 20 seconds.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Excuse me one sec.
All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Less than a week away from Thanksgiving. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's very close to Thanksgiving, and it's a time of the year where families get together, and a lot of times it's family members that don't see each other very often, and so it's a great gathering of families and friends. And what I wanted to talk about today, what happens after Thanksgiving, that's Black Friday. And just like everyone else, you're hearing all these Black Friday specials. We have a Black Friday special for the Siegel Law Group. And it's really from now all the way through the end of the month. If you call and schedule your free consultation, your free in-office consultation with the Siegel Law Group, and you do that before the end of this month, before the end of November, and let them know that you are a Steve Kane listener, you will be entitled to $1,000 off of any estate planning package. And you don't have to come in, and you can come in any time between now and the end of this year. So it goes on through the end of the year, but you do need to schedule before November.
Yeah, now when people come, now again, you have to schedule your appointment, you have to call to schedule the appointment before the end of November, but you can schedule that appointment for any time between now and the end of 2025 and still get that $1,000 off. When people come in, Barry, for that no charge in-office consultation, what happens in that consultation?
Well, the consultation is for us to really get to know them, understand their goals, understand their wishes, get to know about their family, the inner workings of the family, their estate, all the things that are important in making decisions about planning the estate, so that they have a clear understanding of some of the consequences of certain things that they may or may not do in the planning, and that way that they're educated and they can make good decisions for themselves and their family.
Yeah, and these revocable living trusts that Attorney Barry Siegel puts together for you and your family, I want to highlight, these are not cookie cutter, Barry. These are very specific to the individuals and to the couples and to the families that come in, because every situation is so different, right?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, everything is customized to each particular client, and so that's what we've been doing for almost 24 years now. Wow. And at this point, we're coming to the end of the year, and it's if you haven't updated your estate plan or done your estate plan, and it was on your list of things to do, or your New Year's resolutions from last January, now is your opportunity.
Absolutely, and it's a great deal. $1,000 off. Call. Here's the number, toll free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, great. Thank you,
All right,
Ryan.
take care. All right, we are back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. I've got 10,000 calls coming in. And, are you back with us, Steve? Okay, I got to call Steve back. I'll get Steve back. Don't you worry, guys. I thought I lost it when I was talking with Barry. If you're on hold, stand by. No, this thing that we're talking about this morning is new, and I was thinking about it myself, and I'm so glad we got this JAG lawyer to call in the last segment that said, indeed, that Senator Kelly is still beholden to the Uniform Code of Military Conduct. And if you look at the video of him on CNN, there's no question in anyone's mind that he is freaking out right now, because he's gotten calls from friends of his, or maybe some legal analysis from somebody that he knows that's a lawyer, or maybe his own lawyer, that says, hey, they may have roped you into something here. You're in some trouble. And Trump's not messing around. I mean, he immediately yesterday, when this started circulating, going after them. All right, Steve, we got you back. All right. So,
Okay.
So if you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, no one has talked about this yet, Steve. You know, there's a lot of legal analysts on television, but not JAG lawyers, right? Not military lawyers. And we just happen to, have one in our audience that confirm this is true. And if you guys see any clips of the Mark Kelly interview with Caitlin Collins on CNN, you'll see the color in his face is different. The condescending arrogance in his face is gone. And he is just not the same person he was a couple days ago. Somebody has told him, you messed up. You messed up, You shouldn't have made that video. And, see, these...
You would think he would check that out before getting involved in some harebrained thing like this.
Well, Steve, they're in this Trump derangement syndrome suffering bubble, and there's nobody in that bubble that they have contact with that's reasonable. When they're... remember what you told me about those swingers? Their whole bubble is a swinging world, so they don't understand that what they're doing is immoral, and most people don't approve because everybody they know is in that lifestyle. Everyone Kelly knows is suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. So they don't have a rational mind in the group to say, hey, this is treason, this is sedition. Wait a minute, you're still, Uniform Code of Military Conduct. It never occurred to any of them. But
yeah, I was watching Fox last night. I was watching Fox. Let's say the early portion of the Hannity show, and they were being warned by the guests on Fox that what they were was going to get them in trouble.
Yep. All right. Well, let's.
And then they got off it right after that.
Yeah. Well, we're right on it. All right. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey, Scotty B from Florida.
What's
Listen,
up?
I know everybody's crazy about that recording and Margaret or Peggy or whatever. So there's an easy solution. They can eliminate. We got the technology to eliminate all the background, because remember they were up in the air, and so they can eliminate all the background noise, and they can hear exactly.
He clearly says quiet Peggy. He clearly says it. I've played that more. I've listened to that clip more than anybody else on earth probably. It clearly says quiet Peggy.
No, I understand, but I mean that's an issue. That's one way to do it. The other thing is that I hope you took longer than 10 minutes to do the research, right? You didn't go to the
what are you talking about?
Well, you know how Crockett. You didn't go to the Crockett School of Research, right?
Research on what? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, no. When you looked up remember what Crockett did with?
I know what Crockett did. What are you accusing me of? Research what?
No. I'm not accusing you. I'm glad that you got the right one.
Are you talking about the Mark Kelly Uniform Code of Military Justice?
Right.
I read a couple articles. I read a couple articles about it yesterday, and about 10 minutes ago, we got a call from a retired lawyer from the JAG Corps who said that my analysis was correct.
No, I understand. Yes, and it is.
Well, thank you. Then why are you questioning it?
All right. No. I'm just
okay. All right. Take care. Oh my goodness. You know, a few years ago, Steve, I went to the doctor. I called my doctor to make an appointment, and I got some shocking news. You know what happened?
What?
He was dead. I said, what? I said, what? They said, yeah, he had a heart attack. My doctor had a heart attack. I said, he looked great. Yeah, and he's like, no, he had a heart attack out of the blue. And he was like 45, 50, somewhere in there, and boom, dead. And, you know, the number one sign of heart problems is sudden death, like my doctor. I was in shock. I know we're laughing now. It's been a long time since that happened. But, you know, that's true. I mean, he was a doctor, and he had no idea that he was a heart attack risk. Can you believe that? Isn't that something? Mm. And, yeah, and what I've learned, because I was doing some reading when I had my appointment scheduled with Life Imaging FLA. I've told you guys for years, I just assumed that when I got my, when I got in my 50s, I was going to have a heart attack because my cholesterol has been so high all my life. And what I found out, Steve, is a lot of times when you have blockage, your body adjusts to it. So you may have blockage and not have high blood pressure or anything because your body adjusts to it because it happens so gradually. But all the time, people go over to Life Imaging FLA for that heart scan, and they find out that they've got 80% or more blockage, and their life is saved right there on the spot because they can take care of it before they have a sudden cardiac arrest like my doctor did. He was a nice guy, too. He was a really good doctor. And you know, this is a great thing to do for your dad, for your mom, for your husband, for your wife. Take them over there, okay? Life Imaging FLA has locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. And November is Men's Health Awareness Month. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. When you're over there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening so you get that ultimate peace of mind. I had that scan too, and of course I'm cancer free as well. Life Imaging FLA is all about proactive healthcare, saving lives through early detection. According to the National Cancer Institute, listen to this, Steve, over 4.75 million cancer deaths have been prevented through early detection and screening. So this November, take control of your health. Visit Life Imaging FLA. Start living proactively. Take mom, take dad, take your wife, take your husband over there. You may save their life. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. Pound 250 and say free heart scan. You will be connected in seconds. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold for the bottom of the hour break, okay? I'll be right back. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on the board. One opening on the board. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
We got about
but
90.
I'm afraid I'm going to lose you.
No, you got you. We got about 90 seconds. We'll be back. Oh. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by.
I hope I don't lose you when you come back.
You're not. I got you on now. We're 1 minute. We'll be back in. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay, you'll be there. We'll be back in less than a minute. All right, every line is lit. I don't think these liberals like the idea that Kelly could be court-martialed.
He didn't like it either last night.
No, he didn't. He's not looking good. He's like, oh, I screwed up. Okay, hold on. Okay, 30 seconds.
If I knew it, it's hard to believe he didn't know it.
Well, they get tied up in their thing. Okay, we get a few 20 seconds. All right, we're back. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Every line on the board is lit, Steve. There's not an opening on the board.
Must have been something you said.
Well, there's one of a couple of, there's one of three options. From Naval Intelligence, her husband, Jake Sullivan, was the National Security Advisor for Biden.
Right, okay. He was also on 2 weeks before that. Said he never saw the Mideast so quiet, so I don't know. I had heard, I'm not sure if this is true, that there's 6 ex-JAG attorneys on Judge Gene Pinero's staff.
Oh, really?
Have you ever heard that?
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I heard that months ago, but I didn't hear get any follow-up on it or anything. I thought it was a little curious, but they have a great background in that. I wonder if they're not going to come in handy for something. Because I think when I look at Kelly, they know that they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is going to be much bigger than I think people think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to expand out, and I think we have a gotcha moment where they realize they're in deep trouble now.
Oh, you
and
can
I think
see
a lot more information. Yeah, a lot more information is going to come out on this too, and they deserve it too.
Oh, you can see it.
What they've been doing to this country, and attacking our duly elected president all this time. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on their heels, and I think they're looking for cover now. I think Kelly's in a lot of trouble because he's on video going along with this.
No doubt.
And with his background, he's got a problem there. So,
well, they were all part of it.
They're all part of it, yeah. And a lot of people that I don't think that haven't been mentioned yet are part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're worried a lot too.
Well, they should be.
So they should be, absolutely.
I mean, when are they going to learn that President Trump they can't beat him?
I don't, if if they haven't learned it by now after 2 administrations, I don't know. It just shows you where they're at. They really are delusional. It's not just the people out in the street; it's the people in the Congress and that too. Now they're really going to find out that he's unbeatable, and they're going to find out that there's going to be a severe repercussion for this.
Well, today's one thing we haven't had a chance to talk about is today's the big meeting with Trump and Mamdani.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
That's going to be must-watch TV later on after the show's over, because this is going to be I think a big moment.
Now the president usually schedules important things after we go off the air.
Absolutely.
He doesn't like to interrupt the program, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be something to see. Mamdani's going to get caught because he doesn't have the experience to deal.
Well,
none of them have the experience to deal with a guy like Trump.
We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out soon enough. He may take this decision. He may take this move to, let me just be nice, be a gentleman, and then let Mamdani be Mamdani and let him fail on his own.
I would imagine he's going to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Mamdani's nervous?
Oh yeah, I think he is. Now he's in the big leagues. He's not in the big leagues. Mommy and Daddy can to help him out on this thing. He's in the big leagues. I think Trump will just I think Trump will be nice to him and just let him take himself down. Take himself down.
Well, it depends. I'm curious where he enters the White House. A lot of times we see them drive up with the pool camera, and where the president. That's like a ceremonial entrance. A lot people visit the West Wing all the time. They go to the old executive office building first, and then they walk over a side entrance, and you never see it. So I'm curious if he's going to pull up like he's the head of state, or will he come in the back entrance? Is the president going to have a sit-down press conference in the Oval where they all take questions sitting next to each other? Is he going to allow him that level of, you know what I mean?
Well, today the optics are really going to matter. It's really going to matter how he's treated, how he handles himself, how he's treated by Trump and that. But this guy, I would just ask him, but where are you going to get the money to have all this free busing? I think they said $700 million.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He
doesn't even have money for the transition team.
He's never had a job in his life. He's never done anything in his life. Mommy and Daddy have taken care of everything. And when you haven't done by the way, he hasn't even worked like at the old Navy, okay? I mean, he's never done it. The state senator job, he didn't show up for over 80% of his votes. He didn't even do that job.
That's right.
So when you've coasted through life on Mommy and Daddy's money, and you've never done anything, and now, being mayor of New York City is a bigger deal than being governor of most states, you're going to fail.
Well, you would say he's the de facto leader of the Democratic Party now. And now it's him. And he's got to stand on his own 2 feet. Against a seasoned guy like Trump, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
I'd be terrified if I were him today. I'd be terrified.
I would too.
But how self-aware is Mamdani?
Doesn't anybody agree with me that I think that Trump's going to act charming and
probably
friendly?
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, no,
I think that's how he gains control of the moment.
But if he does a press conference and and the reporters get into it, I think that
he may not do that.
If Mamdani's not going to be able to sit there in a tough press conference with Trump and get away by smiling, looking like an idiot. It's not going to work.
No, he could destroy himself in a press conference if he really is. He's not seasoned enough to deal with that.
If I were him, I wouldn't want to do it. I would not want to do it.
He's not ready for it. He's not ready for it. Just either smiling and that's not going to cut it anymore. And now you got to show us your policies, how you're going to do these things, and he has no answers for that. Yeah. And a guy like Trump, oh my goodness, he's
Well, it could turn into a press conference like that if they do it. Like that first one with Zelensky. Remember when Brian Glenn went after Zelensky and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That could happen.
Well, I think Mamdani's in over his head, and I think we'll probably see it today. But I agree. I think Trump will probably be charming. He doesn't really have to go after the guy. He can go after himself just by his own policies will hang himself. It's not going to work. Everybody knows it.
He is as dumb as Jasmine Crockett and AOC. And if you go back to those debates, I know he is. If you go back to those debates, anytime he was pressed, all he did was smile. He's got a nice smile, but that's not going to fly with Trump.
Well, who's the great thinker in the Democratic Party now? Are we saying Mamdani?
Bobby Kennedy Jr. He's still a Democrat.
Yeah, right. They're in big trouble. Their whole party's in big trouble. I think Steve is absolutely right. We're looking at the final destruction of the Democratic Party as we've known it before. They're gonna have to get away from these policies, try and rebuild, but they're caught. They're caught, and they've doubled down, tripled down. Jasmine Crockett is the spokesman. AOC. This is pathetic.
Do you know when is the last time we've had a call from a Democrat that was not incoherent on this program? This has been a bad week for the Democrats with the Epstein files and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. They're in hiding. Mm-hmm. It's going to get a lot worse.
All right, listen, we got to run, but I appreciate the call.
What is it they say? It's going to get worse before it gets better?
Oh, yeah. Now, you're hearing this theme a lot with the messages that I'm sharing with you as great Christmas gifts. And Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I was telling you, Steve, we've had listeners from all over the United States call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I did not think about this when I first met with them in January. They've been with us all year. And couples are going in together. And I was telling you this the other day, because couples, you typically eat the same stuff. So if one has some weight issues, the other one usually does. And couples are doing this together. I'm going to tell you, Coastal Weight Loss Secret, not only does it work, I've been in the maintain phase for months, right? Because, you know, I'm at the weight I was 29 years ago, and I figure I went over my goal weight, and I feel great. If you guys watching me on YouTube, my belly is flat. I have a flat stomach. I was starting to get partially obstructed views when I look down, but I have a flat stomach again. I've lost all the weight. I look great. And the maintain phase has been so easy without any effort because I didn't have any major lifestyle changes with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Give them a call no matter where you are in the United States and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300, 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlasssecret.com. All right, we'll take a break and come back with the final gold report of the week. Don't go anywhere. Back after this. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, all right? Hold on. Okay. Hey there, we'll be back in 1 minute. Hold on. Steve, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I got William on hold, so hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to conference in William. Hold on. All right, William, 5 seconds.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello.
Yep. So, all right, we are back. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the final gold and precious metals report of the week. How the metals ended up this week, William?
The metals are still trading in a trading range that we've been talking about, building a lot of strength down at the $4,000 support level for gold and $50 in the $50 range for silver. Yesterday, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,039 all the way up to $4,111 and close out the day at $4,076.40, which was down 60 cents.
Wow.
Silver lost 70 cents at $50.58. Platinum was down $27 at $1,514. And palladium was down $9 at $13.62. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,024 on the low to $4,088 on the high. And right now, we're down $3.40 at $4,073. Silver at $49.65, down 43 cents. Platinum up $8 at $15.22. And palladium up $6 at $13.68. Just want to say a little bit about why we own, one of the reasons why we own gold and silver is, and the importance of having gold and silver in your physical possession. We live in a world of AI, and AI, while it may have many wonderful proponents for civilization, the dangers of it are that nothing is safe. And the only way you can secure your financial security is to have physical possession of something physical like gold and silver which has stood the test of time, some 5,000 years.
Yep.
Things like Bitcoin are actually failing to prove themselves to be that safe haven, and people are reverting back to gold. Bitcoin falling from $125,000 high down to about 80,000 now, and certainly is not something you can protect yourself against the AI scandalous systems of the world.
No, and a lot of times people that are holders of the medals, they'll tell you, if these terrible things happen, you've got something to barter with. That is so true. When we first met you, and you guys can go and look this up, what year it was not long after, I think it was Hurricane Wilma. And when Hurricane Wilma came and hit South Florida, we had 2 hurricanes hit like a week or 2 apart. It was devastating. We didn't have electricity. The banks were shut down. But even though there was no electricity, William Youngerman, and the banks were shut down, you had a line of people that were doing transactions because you were still open for business, and they had their gold, they had their silver, they had their platinum or palladium, whatever it is they had. They were still able to function even when the banks were out of business from the hurricanes.
That's correct.
Yeah, and that is really an amazing thing, because you hear people talk about that a lot, but we've actually seen and experienced it, and it's exactly how it works. And William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in. His shop in Boca is on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. His number or his address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, and his phone number is 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And you can find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care. Yeah, whatever Trump does, Steve, I don't think Trump plans on how he's going to do these things. Like with Mamdani, I think he just kind of does it on the fly, kind of reads the room.
Oh, no, I don't agree with that. I think it's a very good idea.
Really?
By the time he goes in, yep.
It depends, because when he meets Mamdani, he's going to know immediately what kind of person he is. Can he pull his own weight, or is he a total lightweight?
Trump prepares for these things, and that's why I think he's going to be charming and delightful, and that's how he's going to control the situation.
Yeah. I kind of, I've got mixed feelings. Whatever Trump does will be best. He knows what to do, I got mixed feelings, though, on if he does the press conference, does it elevate this dope too much? But then again, Trump knows what he's doing.
I don't know the answer, but I trust that Trump does.
Absolutely. Yeah, whatever he does will be best. And this guy, I don't know how self-aware he is. Do most people that have never done anything in their life know? No.
Oh, Mamdani.
Mamdani. Does he?
I don't think he's. I think he's the one flying by the seat of his pants.
So you think he's nervous?
Oh, wouldn't you be?
Well, yeah, but I'm aware. I'm self-aware. This guy may be totally nuts, like Gavin Newsom or something. I don't know. We'll find. Well, whatever it is, if they do a press conference, it's going to be the first time we see what he's really like, Mamdani, right? Is he the real deal? Can he hold his own? Is he a lightweight? We know he's a lightweight, but he's got to be. He hasn't really been pressed. When he was in those debates, he was up against another Democrat, Cuomo, and Curtis Lee was a lightweight. He choked in those debates. Curtis Lee was. He wasn't good. And the reporters, of course, are on Mamdani's side. So Mamdani has never really been questioned. I saw an interview he did in New York yesterday, and they asked him, how are you going to pay for the buses? And he said, raise the state corporate tax. And he says, well, the governor said that's not happening. And he just smiled. He just sat there and smiled. That smile's not going to fly with Trump and with this White House press corps.
It'll be fun to see.
Won't it ever? I've been telling you guys about Christmas. I wanted to explain this. Life Imaging FLA, with the heart and cancer screening, okay? A lot of people, they should get this screening, and they won't take it. A lot of people don't want to know, and they'll put it off. The scan from Life Imaging FLA, take your spouse, take your dad, take your grandpa, take your husband, take your wife. maybe even to take your adult son or daughter and get this scan, okay? Do you have a history of cancer in your family? Do you have a history of heart disease in your family and they won't go see the doctor? Take them to Life Imaging FLA. You know, Steve, with the scan they do, it's a completely open, it's like a ring. It's like open. I thought it was going to be one of those MRI machines that make all the noise that you go into for like an hour. No, it takes just a few minutes. It's completely open. You don't have to take your clothes off and put on a gown or anything. I even left my watch on. And I started to take my watch off. They said, no, you don't take your watch off. I thought I was going to have to put on a hospital gown. No, I had my shirt and jeans on. Everything was just like I'm dressed now. You know, and by the way, kept my hat on too, my MAGA hat. You don't have to do any of that, and it takes just a few minutes. The scan at Life Imaging FLA, listen to this. They offer free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. Make sure you ask about that full body cancer screening, okay, for total peace of mind. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. Pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Again, they have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. Pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Well, I got to tell you, this has been a bad week to be a never Trumper or a liberal. This video the Congress people did has backfired. President Trump, he called their bluff on the Epstein files. It is now, he signed the Epstein files bill into law. It is now a law, a federal law, that the Epstein files will all be released within 30 days. You know, I mean, they haven't had a win. Not a single win. When's the last time the Democrats had a win? Can you remember, Steve?
I can't recollect.
No. So I don't know why they keep trying. They should just ride out the wave. And when he retires in 2032 or 36 or 42, whenever it is, then you got a chance again. You know, all these little tricks do nothing but help him. There's not a single stunt that they've pulled where he hasn't been more popular when the stunt's been over. Not one. And I just don't understand why they can't figure that out, Steve. Why do they keep trying?
What's their option?
Write it out. Write it out.
Well, you kind of get the feeling they're doing that.
No. That tape looks like they're writing it out? I don't think so. You know, they went out there and pushed the Epstein files, and now look, Trump called them on it and is releasing them. You know, that was their worst nightmare, and everything that's come out so far is an indictment on them.
Well, they're not going to beat him.
Oh, no,
eventually they'll figure that out.
Oh, please, I don't think so. Like yesterday, Liz Cheney made this big deal that Trump and JD are not welcome at this funeral. First off, when you're grieving over the death of your father, why are you worried about who's not on the invite list like that? I mean, my goodness, jerk. What a lunatic. She doesn't seem like she was very concerned about her father, to be worrying about that. And why would Trump want to go to that anyway? Why would he want to go sit at a funeral for a war criminal? How many Americans are dead because of Dick Cheney's lies, right? How many millions have had their lives destroyed because of Dick Cheney's lies? No, I wouldn't go to that funeral. I wouldn't have gone to it. No, I don't go and honor war criminals. But I've never heard someone at a funeral be vocal about who's not invited. You're not invited to the funeral. I mean, that's a very sick and twisted thing. Well, we're approaching the end of the show. I want to do a quick reminder before we go. Our 10th annual MAGA Cruise, Steve, is coming up in March. Can you believe it's be our 10th year of this? I can't believe it. I mean, I just can't believe how many of these cruises. This is the 10th year will be in March. Time has gone by fast. These are so much fun. But I got to remind you of two things. One, if you've already made a reservation, final payments are due. So please call Ian today and take care of that. And if you've not made a reservation, we have this group pricing that's 2019 pricing. As soon as the cruise line advertises their Black Friday specials, we lose our 2019 pricing. And that could happen any moment. So call in if you've not made a reservation and make your reservation so you get that 2019 pricing. Here's the number, 561-244-5779. If you get his voicemail, leave your name and number. He'll call you back. You might be on the line with someone else. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll be back on Monday. And if you're on hold, you'll be first in line Monday. I know I cannot wait for this Mamdani Trump meeting today. It's going to be a great one. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. I'm Brian. Steve's been here. God bless Donald Trump.